ball, and they'll run it back next season in Baltimore, John.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what Coach Don Staley is looking for. I think that she wants to make sure that her team is focused every game they step out on the floor, and it starts, like I said before, one game at a time, making sure that you're prepared for the moment.
Our officials tonight are Katie Lukanich, Angelica Sufflin, and Charles Watson. 2-0 Gamecocks, the 2-1 Eagles. It'll be Kitts and Lawrence on the tip. And we're underway from Columbia. South Carolina has first possession, averaging 69.5 points per game so far this season, shooting 41% from the field, 23% from three through 2 games. Kitts, the first bucket belongs to Chloe Kitts.
Yeah, that's something Chloe Kitts has been working on, is her range, ability to spread the floor, not just being an impact player in the paint.
Coppin State averaging 64.3 points per game. They're shooting 42%, 27% from three. Can they find offensive production against a suffocating South Carolina defense, John? That's a question.
Yeah, that's one thing that you have to be able to do. We got the chance to talk to Coach Woods. One thing he wanted his players to do is not let the moment overwhelm you, but just play basketball.
Time running out on the Eagles, and it's a shot clock violation.
Fantastic defense from South Carolina. They did a great job of guarding the perimeter.
Here's your starting 5 for the Gamecocks. Tina Powpow, Bree Hall, Raven Johnson, Sanaya Fagan, and Chloe Kitts.
You know what's scary? Any one of those players could have been the player to watch, along with about 5 players on the bench.
It's another loaded roster for Coach Staley. This is Fagan, gets in the paint, kicks it out. Raven Johnson. Her shot no good. And a rebound for Angel Jones, junior guard out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Jones just 5'4", John, but she can be electric.
Oh, yeah, she's got a game on her. Beautiful bag, really can handle the ball. And once she gets herself settled, she's going to be a problem.
Yeah, she had 20 points in their season opener. That was against Frostburg State. 12 points on Tuesday against St. Francis. Raven Johnson brings it up for the Gamecocks. The redshirt junior out of Atlanta, Georgia. Runs the show to perfection. Kitts off the glass and one.
And all that opened up with Chloe Kitts showing her ability to knock down that mid-range jumper. Once that happened, the defender had to choke up a little bit on her. Then her drive-by was that much more easy.
The foul's called on Kaya Jenkins. She picks up her first. Kitts the line. It's her second game of the season, but in that first game against Michigan, John, it was a double-double. 19 points, 14 rebounds. 14 boards tied a career high. Can't finish the three-point play.
Well, they started slow against Michigan, and she was one of the players that settled them down, scoring their first 6 points, giving them some life on the offensive end.
Starting 5 for the Eagles: Hammond, Gray, Jones, Jenkins, and Lawrence. And that's Angel Jones, who's averaging 13.7 per game through the first 2 games so far this season.
And she's such a good guard. I mean, really can get 2 feet in the paint whenever she wants. In one-on-one situations, there's not a lot of people that can stay in front of her.
Gray pulls up. Tried to bank it in, but she was short. Johnson. The follow-up won't go. And Tyler Gray, who runs the show for Coppin State, gets it to Lawrence. Layla Lawrence off the glass and in.
Yeah, Layla Lawrence can score in droves. Got to watch her against Maryland, and one of the things she was able to do was make tough shots on a consistent basis. The higher the level that you play against, the more you have to make those kind of shots.
Powpow feeds Fagan. Contact and a foul called on Coppin State. The last bucket for the Eagles, John.
Yeah, Layla Lawrence just going in there fearless, absorbing contact and finishing strong.
Hammond picked up the foul for Coppin State. Fagan to the line. Hits the first. Nia Fagan, senior forward out of Ellenwood, Georgia, now 3 for 4 on the season from the line. She had 6 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 blocks in the win against NC State. Her numbers have gone up each year.
She's a strong forward that's got some finesse to her game. She was a guard before she came here to South Carolina, but from time to time, you'll see that spark.
Travel called on Hammond. Hammond's someone you have to watch behind the three-point line. 22 of her 24 shots this season are from long distance. She's hitting at a 46% clip.
Yeah, you cannot give her daylight. If she does, she's going to make sure that she knocks that bad boy down.
Fagan drives in the paint, dishes to Kitts. An offensive foul called on South Carolina.
And that's a strategy for Coppin State, making sure that they protect the paint, protect the basket, and they're going to put a wall up to make sure that it's extremely difficult for you to score on them at the basket.
Lawrence draws the charge on South Carolina. And it's Nia Fagan. Tyler Gray. Here's Lawrence. Another travel, this time on Layla Lawrence. Lawrence is a big that will shoot from distance as well, John.
Absolutely. There are plays set for her. She does a fill and replace play where she's coming up from the bottom, setting a little mini screen and knocking down that three. I mean, she's got several opportunities to show her ability to spread the floor.
Bree Hall takes the handoff from Kitts. Hall fighting inside, and she's called for the travel. Third travel called in this game already.
Well, I'll say this, that was great resistance presented from Tyler Gray, who did a great job of just staying in front of Bree Hall and meeting her with physicality legally.
Gamecocks lead by 2. Layla Lawrence. And she's tied up. Mylasia Full-Wiley is into the game for South Carolina. Tied it up. It remains in possession of Coppin State. Full-Wiley, the electric sophomore guard from right here in Columbia. And here's the freshman Joyce Edwards out of Camden, South Carolina. She's checked in as well. Balinga gets the bounce. Ari Balinga out of Riverdale, Georgia. Transfer from Coastal. Didn't play a lot there. Limited minutes. She's going to be a big piece this season for Coppin State. Edwards is short. Offensive board for Raven Johnson. Kitts goes down. And a foul called on Coppin State.
Yeah, that's one place where South Carolina is always going to have the advantages in the interior. They put so much pressure on the paint. Most of the time, they're going to draw fouls and get to that line.
Foul's called on Balinga. The inbounds and another whistle. And Chloe Kitts will head back to the line. Her second trip to the line tonight. She was unable to finish a three-point play early on. Chloe hits the first. And the second. Now 7 for 8 on the season from the charity stripe.
She knows how to get to the free throw line, and a lot of that is because she is always active in that paint area, putting defenses in conflict. Gray.
Baseline jumper is too strong from Worley. The follow-up doesn't go. And it'll remain with Coppin State. The Eagles defeated St. Francis 74-38 in front of over 3,000 fans. A couple of days ago, it was a raucous Education Day game, an 11 a.m. tip-off.
People don't understand how hard it is to really hoop hard at 11 a.m. I mean, that's a feat in itself.
And you get all those screaming kids at Education Day.
Yeah.
That'll give you a little
That'll
extra
get
energy.
you ramped up, right?
Got to put on a show for the Baltimore youth.
Maybe that's just me. We didn't have Education Day when I played. My kneecaps don't activate until after 3 p.m.
That was a pretty floater from Angel Jones. We're tied at 8. Coppin State competitive early on. Hall. Pow short. Jones looks to push. Lost the handle. This one up ahead to Chloe Kitts.
Yeah. Errant play there for Gray. Ball goes off of her foot. You cannot make mistakes against South Carolina.
Kitts has 8 of the 10 points for the Gamecocks. A whistle that's going to go against South Carolina, and Joyce Edwards, who picks up her first. 4:18 left to go in the first. The Gamecocks lead the Eagles 10-8. To the MEAC semifinals last season for the first time in 2016. And he thinks they can go all the way this season, John.
Oh, absolutely. He's done a great job of recruiting and bringing in kids that like each other, that work hard together, that challenge each other in practice, and thinks that he has the roster equipped to be able to take it all the way in the MEAC.
And they're challenging South Carolina so far. Gamecocks just lead by 2 early on, 10-8. They're being out-rebounded 6-3. This is Hammond. Trying to get it to Gray. 2 seconds. Gets the shot off. Back iron. Fight for the rebound. It's won by Chloe Kitts. Mylasia Full-Wiley. And she's fouled. Angel Jones picks up her first.
Yeah, Fuwale is such a blur in the open floor. All she needs is a little bit of daylight, and she's blowing right by you.
A couple of substitutions. Hear the applause because making her Gamecock debut, number 1 in white, Maddie McDaniel, freshman guard from up in Marlboro, Maryland. She had surgery to remove scar tissue in her knee in early October. Number 12 overall recruit in the class of 2024. She's a past first point guard at Bishop McNamara High School.
Yeah, pass first point guard, but also has the ability to spread the floor from 3. And this is a great game for her to get her legs under her and start to gain some confidence.
Jones gets it to Lawrence. Unable to finish. Another opportunity for the Eagles. Gaston hits.
Yeah, and all of that was created from the second chance opportunity created from Coppin State. Crashing the boards, trying to create more opportunities for themselves to score the ball.
For Wiley, unable to respond. Joyce Edwards will stay with South Carolina. And this was the second made 3 of the season for Nia Gaston, the sophomore guard out of Suffolk, Virginia.
Yeah, it all started with Coppin State not giving up. And you see, it led to an open 3 for Coppin State.
Turnover here. It's Angel Jones the other way for the Eagles. Coppin State takes the lead. 13-11. Full-Wiley.
Battle of the guards right now between Angel Jones and Mylasia Full-Wiley.
Full-Wiley had 18 points on Sunday against NC State. Layla Lawrence. Oh, connects.
Yeah, I told you, unicorn, man. She'll post you up. She's got this wild little Dirk fadeaway that she does in the mid-range, but then also, if you give her daylight at the perimeter, she's pulling.
Getting inside and finishing is the freshman Joyce Edwards. Edwards had 10 points and 7 rebounds in her debut against Michigan off the bench. She started against NC State, had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals against the Wolfpack. Lawrence unable to hit. It's recovered by Gaston. Another opportunity for Coppin State. Gaston for 3. Edwards corrals the rebound. And she'll take it herself, draws contact, doesn't get the roll. But Joyce Edwards will head to the line. The foul's called on Hammond. She picks up her second. And so Hammond will have to check out. Joyce Edwards at the line. 6 for 8 on the season from the charity stripe. 2024 Gatorade National Player of the Year. She averaged 31 points and 13 rebounds last year, leading Camden, to a state championship.
Yeah, there's not much you could do against her in high school, especially. I mean, she was such a terror out there.
You coached against her, right, Joe?
Man, she got on my nerves, man. I'm glad she's here, but got on my nerves, man, because what she brought to the table was just energy, and usually you don't see girls that size creating that much chaos on both ends of the floor for you.
Gamecock fans are glad she's here as well. 6 ties in this game already. We're currently tied at 16. Lawrence unable to get it inside to Belenga. Kitts and 1. She found Marion Dowda. And Dowda, the junior forward from Bentonville, Arkansas, picks up her first points of the season.
Yes, defense leading the offense. Chloe Kitt corrals the ball, finds their teammate Dowda, and she finishes with the contact.
And a foul on Layla Lawrence, her second, and that could be big. Gamecock lead is 3. First points of the season for Dowda, who played 4 minutes against Michigan and didn't play against NC State. McDaniel picks up her first foul. One minute remaining in the first. South Carolina leads 19-16. Lawrence with 2 fouls. The fadeaway won't go. For Wiley. Left open and hits.
That's what makes Wiley one of the most dynamic guards in the nation, because of her ability to just stop on the drop of the dime and just get it and score.
Oh, she feeds Kitts. Kitts stays with it and finishes from in close.
Beautiful basketball.
10 points already for Chloe Kitts. Gamecocks have made their last 5 shots. They lead 23-16. Jones. It's tipped back. Lawrence passes on the 3. Instead, it's Gaston. Kitts with the rebound. And that's how the first quarter will end. Malaysia full Wiley. And she found Chloe Kitts. John and Kitts did the rest.
Oh, yeah, made it look easy, too.
We're through 1. South Carolina leads Coppin State 23-16. With the NC State win, she said, I was pleased with our defensive effort, our ability to just smother them at times. And it was a great game to play because it also, John, reveals some of your weaknesses, right? And now they know them because they played that type of game. You know, you can pay for guaranteed games, but you can't pay for the lessons you get and that you put your players through. So when they put that schedule together, they did it because they wanted to challenge themselves, working towards playing for March and April, in November and December.
Absolutely, and they do that every year. Every year they've scheduled difficult, tough not to buffer, not to buffer your schedule or anything like that. It's to test you. You want to be hardened by the season, and by the time you get to the NCAA tournament, you're properly prepared for it. By the time you get to the SEC, you're properly prepared for it.
That's their largest lead, 9. Belinga cuts it to 7.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching Belinga's game here. I mean, she's always hunting for positioning in the post and looking to see if she can get any type of space or opportunity, but also she can score with her back to the basket in one-on-one situations.
A great effort from Dowda. She's fouled.
Yeah, just establishing yourself and positioning in the post. And a lot of the times you'll see South Carolina have the advantage for offensive rebounding because defenses are trying to front them or three-quarter play them on defense. And so usually when the shot goes up, you have the better angle and positioning to get the rebound.
For Wiley. She hits over Hammond.
Yeah, there's too much space. She recognized it, took advantage, knocked down the jumper.
7 points for Malaysia for Wiley. The lead back to 9. Angel Jones. Hammond thought about it. She usually takes those. Instead, it's Belinga. Rebound for Full Wiley. Kitts, she'll kick it out. McDaniel does the same. For Wiley for 3. Got it.
Beautiful shot from Malaysia Full Wiley. But we got to tip our hats off to McDaniels too, recognizing that the defense was loaded on that right side where all she had to do was kick it to a wide open Full Wiley.
She's got 10. She's 4 for 5 from the field. Off the mark from Angel Jones, and the rebound to Maddie McDaniel. She'll look to push. McDaniel. She's going to be called for the travel. Malaysia for Wiley, John. She's been hot so far.
Absolutely. Just taking what's given to her, but also recognizing her one-on-one matchups. And there's not a lot of people that can stay in front of her.
Preseason second team all SEC selection. It was all freshman team a year ago, and the SEC tournament MVP. Gamecocks lead 30-18. Hammond.
That might be Hammond's first layup of the season.
Yeah, good call, John. All of her made baskets have been from 3. She's 10 for 22 coming into tonight. 0 for 2 inside the arc, so there you go, her first inside basket.
Yeah, I believe she had about 30 points so far this season before this game started, and 10 threes or so, something like that, and 1 free throw.
Coach Woods is encouraging her to shoot anytime she has any space.
Yeah, one thing Coach Woods also talked about is once you're recognized as a primary shooter for your team, teams are going to start to adjust to it. They're going to start to scout for that. And so then you have to show your ability to knock down the mid-range jumper, get all the way to the basket, or get feet in the paint so that you can create for your teammates.
That one not close for Dowda. Looking for her first three-point make of the season. She shot 32% from 3 last year for Arkansas. Had a pretty big game against South Carolina. She had 19 points last February against the Gamecocks. Now she is a Gamecock. Lawrence off the mark. And Kitts will lead the rush. Kitts inside to Dowda. She'll draw the foul. And if that's on Lawrence, that's her 3rd. It's called on Worley, so she picks up her first.
That's a sigh of relief for Coach Woods. You got to have Lawrence out there, especially what she can bring to the table offensively. But because she's a defensive-minded forward, a lot of the time she's going to be in the mix either making contact or trying to block shots.
And that's why he's got her out there right now with 2 fouls. Coppin State only has 10 active for tonight. They can't afford too much foul trouble. Sanaya Fagan checks back in as Miriam Dowda gets a rest. Dowda was impressive, John.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she provided a spark off the bench, showed her motor, her activity, just making sure that she was sealing and getting good positioning on offense and then being a wall on defense.
Lawrence. Now Jones. She'll try a 3. And here comes Kitts in transition. Full Wiley. Oh, they're going to wave this off. Offensive foul on Malaysia Full Wiley. The boos rain down here inside CLA.
Yeah, I got to see this. Nice hesitation. Gets all the way to the deck. But I saw feet inside the arc.
Full Wiley picks up her first. Gamecock lead is 11. Full Wiley will take a seat. Pow Pow's back in. It's Pow Pow, Fagan, Hall, Kitts, and Johnson. So your starting 5 back in for South Carolina. Angel Jones. Jenkins to Hammond from the corner. Shot no good. Another rebound for Chloe Kitts. Kitts from the top of the arc. In and out. Doesn't get the bounce. But a whistle that will go against Coppin State. And Kaya Jenkins, who picks up her second. Ten total fouls already called on Coppin State, just 4 on South Carolina. Hall. Fagan can't follow up. Instead, it's Hall. A 4th opportunity. Fagan loses it out of bounds. Coppin State basketball.
And you can see the grit, the fight from Coppin State, understanding that they're at a size disadvantage against South Carolina and they're going to have to do everything they can to corral that ball.
Coach Staley said they're a formidable opponent. They play hard for 40 minutes, run some good stuff. She said they're going to come in here ready to rock and roll no matter how many people we have in front of us. Just have to play our style, prepare like we normally do, not take anyone lightly.
Well, that's the thing, too. I mean, scheduling Coppin State is also good for South Carolina. This is one of the top teams in the MEAC.
And Coach Woods' squad is preseason number 3 in the MEAC. Coming off that semifinal appearance. They returned 4 of their 6 leading scorers from last season, over 65%. Angel Jones has 6 points. Gets to Lowry. Kel Lowry, a freshman guard from Baltimore, Maryland. Local player for Coppin State. Hammond, no room. Johnson stays with Jones. Terrific defense from Raven Johnson. Hammond tees it up. In and out. And a rebound for Johnson. Coppin now 0 for their last 8 on 3-pointers. Pow Pow, the spin move. Feeds it to Fagan.
Beautiful. Pow Pow keeping her head up. Even on the spin, most people would think she's going to go up for that shot. She recognized her teammate was open. Bounced it off right there to her.
Well, brings us to immediate timeout with 4:25 left to go in the second. Tina Pow Pow feeding Sanaya Fagan inside for the basket. 2 more for the senior forward from Georgia.
some real battles out there where you didn't know how the game was going to go. And I think that their non-conference and conference play really hardened them for the national championship.
When we showed the shot of those banners, what you didn't see was there's a little bit of room to the right of that 2024 championship. So I ask you, John, can they go back-to-back and take it home this season?
Well, that's one thing that's extremely difficult to do. But the only way that you can do that is by making sure that you have a standard that needs to be set every single game and come out to work every time you step out on the floor. I think it's a day-by-day process. I think that you can't give a definitive answer until you see what it looks like when the smoke clears, but I think that they have all the pieces, talent-wise, skill-wise, to be able to do it again.
And certainly this team, it's the thought process that there's no reason why they can't. All the talent that they bring back. They lead 33-20 over Coppin State. Eagles were battling early, John, but they've been struggling here over the last 4 minutes. Jones puts an end to that.
Absolutely, and the reason why there was such a offensive lull for Coppin State is because South Carolina really ramped it up on the defensive end and made it more of a half-court game for Coppin State. Right there, Angel Jones was able to get an open floor situation where she could just get to her spot and finish.
Bounces off Jenkins and a turnover. Here's Joyce Edwards. Lays it up and in.
It all started with Raven Johnson's quick hands, being in the space at the right time, taking advantage of any mistake made from Coppin State.
5 points for Edwards. Layla Lawrence. Now Angel Jones. 10 seconds. It's Lawrence inside. Well defended by Adele Tack. An open Pow. Passes on the three. Instead, she gets inside in the paint and converts.
And that's what South Carolina has really been focusing on, is whether it's a post entry or a drive, you need to get 2 feet in the paint area.
And for Pow, she's just so dangerous all over the floor.
Yeah. It should be easier for her to get into the paint because of her three-point shooting ability. All it takes is a pump fake for her to get 2 feet down there, and then she can just create.
Speaking of three-point ability, there's Bree Hall. Hall picks up her first three of the night.
Yeah, defense leading the offense there. You see Adele gets the block, starts the break, and then you see Pow off of a simple pump fake, being able to get to the middle of the floor and get to her floater. And again, another open floor situation where Bree Hall is open. She makes him pay from the three-point line.
Bree Hall, one of those returning starters for the Gamecocks. Look at all this production, John, that they return. 82% of their points from a season ago, 98% of their made threes. Nice chunk of their rebounds as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're bringing back a ton of offensive firepower, which means that they are so deadly now because not only are they picking up from where they left off last year, they have even more chemistry within each other.
It's a balanced unit for Coach Staley. And the lead has ballooned to 18 with 2 minutes remaining in the half. Lawrence trying to get help from Jones. See check by Pow. Gaston rattles it in.
And Gaston has definitely been hunting for that three ball, understanding that she's going to have a bigger person on her at times, and so when she can get a little bit of space, she's going to let it go.
She's got 6 for Wiley. An open Pow.
One thing you didn't notice was that full Wiley no-look baseline pass. Her eyes were in the paint, making the defense think that she was going to dump off to one of her post players. And it sucked in Pow Pow's defender, where she could just make that baseline drift pass.
Pow Pow now has 7. 10 seconds for Angel Jones. Runs out of room. Gets it back. She'll fire for 3. That's good.
Yeah, Angel Jones is a basketball player. She hoops. You can see it every time she has the ball in her hand. She's just playing ball out there.
Well, South Carolina will call timeout. Gamecocks are 3 for 9 from behind the arc. John, here's one of their makes, courtesy of Tahina Pow Pow.
Yeah, full Wiley getting that baseline drive, hitting the drift, hitting Pow Pow. Her feet were set. That's 99% in.
And the response on the other end from Angel Jones.
Yeah, Angel Jones just taking what the defense has given her. She's shown her ability to get 2 feet in the paint on her drives whenever she's trying to get downhill. So that's going to open up the perimeter for her. So she has to show her ability to knock down the 3 now.
South Carolina leads by 16. It was a little closer in the first quarter. Rebounds were even in the first quarter. South Carolina had the 1 rebound advantage, but they've really out-rebounded CSU in the second quarter, John, 16-3.
Yeah, you were a little worried for South Carolina in that first quarter. The way Coppin State was getting after it on the boards, and a lot of that is because they are smaller, so they're going to play the game as if, all right, I got something to prove here. I need to crash the boards even harder. If there's a loose ball, I need to get it. If you're not strong with the ball, I'm going to be swiping at it. And so you saw South Carolina make the adjustment in that second quarter.
They're going to say for Wiley stepped out of bounds. So Coppin State will have the final possession of the first half. They trail by 16. Angel Jones, the only Eagle in double digits. She has 11. Runs out of room. And the heave won't go for Nia Gaston.
Making sure that they are early and often in positioning. They're always trying to find the angles needed for the best pass possible.
Underway here in the second half. And a whistle is going to be called on the Gamecocks as Layla Lawrence went down for Coppin State. Foul on Sanaya Fagan, picks up her 3rd. Lawrence hands off to Jones, who had a great first half.
And Angel Jones picking up where she left off.
She's got 13. Kitts has 10 for the Gamecocks. Kicks it to Pow Pow. She hits from the corner.
Yeah, that's a rhythm jumper if you ever have seen it. I mean, one thing that Chloe Kitts did was make sure that she got to the middle of the floor, draw it in. The defender kicked it out for the 3.
Trying to get it inside to Lawrence, who had good position. She's going to be fouled by Fagan, and that's her 4th.
Yeah, I love that play from Coppin State, just putting Lawrence in an isolated situation where all she had to do was just be in good positioning.
Lawrence, 5 points, 2 boards. A round of applause you hear is for Ashton Watkins, who checks in for the first time. She replaces Sanaya Fagan. Watkins, the junior forward from right here in Columbia. This will be the first free throw of the game for Coppin State, an odd stat.
Is it, though? Against South Carolina, is it?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, it's like shooting up against a 7-foot wall. I mean,
And a wall with discipline.
A wall with discipline, and that's the thing, too. It's not just jumping out of control and chaotically swinging. No, they are playing disciplined basketball. Ooh.
Great move from Chloe Kitts.
Yeah,
She's got 12.
Chloe Kitts with the drag euro. I love it.
Tyler Gray held scoreless in the first half. Lawrence feeds Jones.
Yeah, Angel Jones is just really being active in this second half, just hunting for her shots.
Beautiful give and go from the two all-MEAC players.
Let's take a look at this Kitts bucket. You see her, she gets downhill, and I love it when players are just reactional, not saying, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna do this Euro step. She was taking the Euro step because that's what was given to her, and it made for a beautiful play.
Chloe Kitts, who rolled early a couple seasons ago, December of 2022. In her junior season. From the look of things, John, it's going to be a breakout season offensively for Kitts. Had 19 points in her first game this season. She's already up to 12 tonight. The Eagles swing it around. Jones the floater. Off the mark, and the rebound for Ashlyn Watkins. Pow Pow was met briefly by Tyler Gray. Watkins, give her some space on the outside. Kitts continues to assert herself.
And that's the thing about Chloe Kitts. I mean, she can take you off the dribble, but she can also post you up, and she's not going to do anything crazy as far as a ton of moves. She's just going to be direct and get to her spots.
She's got 14. She's 6 for 8 from the field, and she'll lead the rush now for South Carolina. Wide open. This is Bree Hall. Unable to hit. Gray to Jones. Jones has taken 13 of the 37 shots for Coppin State. He made 7 of them.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's been one of the offensive bright spots for Coppin State. It's showing her ability to score in so many ways, and it's not that she's saying, I'm going to shoot a 3 in this play. She's just being reactional to what's given to her.
Gamecocks lead 50-34. Watkins from the free throw line. Wiley flies in for the rebound. It lost the handle, and it's a turnover. Tyler Gray, the redshirt senior from Maryland. Now Worley, Angel Jones. She'll drive inside. Contact and a whistle. It's going to go against South Carolina. And Mylasia Wiley, who picks up her second. Third team foul for South Carolina. Watkins knocks it away from Belinga. 19 on the shot clock. Worley. Now Hammond. Hammond had just 2 points in the first half, averaging 10 so far this season. They get it inside to Belinga. South Carolina basketball.
Yeah, Coppin State was really trying to create another isolated situation in the paint area like they did for Lawrence earlier. Just couldn't get the ball there.
For Wiley. Off the mark, offensive rebound for Ashlyn Watkins. Pow pow.
That is 2 opportunities, 2 possessions for Pow Pow where she's been able to get her feet set, and it has been automatic.
Her third made 3. She's got 13 points. Belinga kicks it out. Hammond from the corner. Another rebound for Ashlyn Watkins. For Wiley, tries to get it to Kitts. And it's a turnover.
Yeah, she couldn't corral that one that time. And you see Pow Pow just getting her feet set in rhythm, in flow, automatic.
And Pow Pow came into tonight winning 36% from behind the arc through first couple of games. She's 2 for 4 tonight. Check that 3 for 5. Layla Lawrence. She's denied by Watkins.
Yeah, one thing about Ashlyn Watkins is she's so athletic. She's so fast. She moves her feet well. Fantastic defender. Can defend multiple positions at that.
Made her season debut. "19 minutes off the bench for Watkins against the Wolfpack, 6.6 rebounds. He was a second-team All-SEC selection last season. Hall from the corner. Got it!
Now you're seeing South Carolina really start to get themselves in a rhythm, and it's because of them running the floor as quickly as possible before the defense gets set.
Floater too strong from Jones. The lead is 22. Kitts feeds Watkins. A foul called on Coppin State. It's going to be called on Tyler Gray. She picks up her second.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely a type of player that can average a double-double on a consistent clip just based off of her motor.
Watkins hits the first free throw of the season. This is the second. And it's Gray the other way for the Eagles, who trail 57-34. Gray marked by Bree Hall. Ten seconds. And Lawrence lost it, and it's a turnover for Coppin State. Here's Full Wiley. Splits the defense and converts.
Yeah, Malaysia Full Wiley is such a blur in that open floor.
And Lawrence, an and one on the other end.
You can see it. As soon as she saw a little bit of daylight, she recognized it and then just went through the lane and finished through 3 defenders. Made it look easy.
And 12 points now from Malaysia Full Wiley. Chloe Kitts picked up the foul on the other end. She'll get a rest. Bree Hall will get a rest as well. And Lawrence will try to finish the 3-point play. Unable to do so. Another rebound for Watkins. This is the freshman McDaniel. Now Watkins. For Wiley. How did she find room, John?
Well, she recognized that the defense really wasn't playing defense. They were just kind of standing there, kind of like cones, right? So she just said, I'm just going to go up if you're not going to contest me.
Lawrence. In and out. A rebound for Joyce Edwards. Daniel stays with it. A couple of freshmen on the floor now for the Gamecocks, and Edwards and McDaniel. For Wiley, feeds Edwards, contact. It's going to go against Joyce Edwards.
Yeah. That's why you got to play off of 2 feet. You see Malaysia Full Wiley. putting her primary defender, and we like to call it in prison, where you can keep them behind you, and then she was able to attack the secondary defender and get to that open space.
There were 3 Eagles around for Wiley. She still found the open window.
Yeah, but their hands were just standing up like a toddler waiting to get picked up.
And for Wiley, made them pay for that.
Yeah, you gotta contest her.
Gray's been kept off the score sheet. Belinga. Gasson's been dangerous. Can't hit. Gamecocks will look to build on their lead here. They're up 61-36. Daniel in some trouble. The foul's going to be called on Hammond. She picks up her 3rd. Hammond just 2 points. She's 0 for 3 from behind the arc. They'll need to get her going if they want to get back into this one. Great ball movement from South Carolina. For Wiley.
Yeah, we talk about rhythm being a huge thing for South Carolina. When they can get themselves into a rhythm, they are unstoppable offensively.
Malaysia for Wiley drains another 3. South Carolina leads 64-36. And welcome back. South Carolina leads 64-36. We're going to take a look at the last made 3 by South Carolina. And this is what an unselfish group can do, John. 4 Gamecocks touch the basketball, and it results in the wide open 3.
Absolutely. Sharing the ball at its finest. You saw them connecting to the positive spots on the floor, and then just letting the ball work, and it led to a wide open 3.
South Carolina has now made their last 5 shots. And how about their bench scoring? Averaging 27.5 per game so far this season. Tonight, they've already got 27.
You have to have that, because in college basketball, somebody's always going to have a bad game. You can't just rely on one person every single game. And so what you see is those teams that have the most depth, even when your best player or 2 players aren't having the game that they'd like, you're still finding ways to pull out wins because of the depth that you have.
That was off the fingertips of Belinga, and a turnover for Coppin State. Gamecocks on a 16-2 run. Pow finds an open Edwards.
That's one thing Joyce Edwards has been working on, is her touch around the basket. Such a strong player. And once she can establish that touch on a consistent basis, defenses are going to have to come out there and guard her, and then you have to deal with that first step that she has.
Well, she's got 7. The lead is 30 for South Carolina. Lawrence. Offensive rebound for Tyler Gray. A whistle. And that's going to go against South Carolina. It's called on Joyce Edwards, who picks up her 3rd. That'll send Tyler Gray to the line. She's looking for her first point of the night. She's 3 for 6 on Edwards. Unable to convert, but another opportunity. Nope, it's in the hands of Angel Jones.
That was about to be
her second season with Coppin State.
Malaysia
first 2 seasons were with college. We've seen a lot of those. Started every game in that shortened COVID season. And went the JUCO route, and now with the Eagles. Lawrence. Oh, she beat the clock.
A high IQ guard, a floor general.
Counted for
really
Layla
looks to
Lawrence.
distribute the ball, but also sees her own
That's how the
individual
third
offensive
quarter will
opportunities.
end. That's a great look into the fourth. South Carolina leads Coppin State 68-37. They're going to count that 3 before the buzzer, so South Carolina now leads Coppin State 68-40. The 3 was made by Layla Lawrence, who's an All-MEAC preseason first-team selection. Angel Jones, All-MEAC preseason second-team selection. Gamecocks star power, John, for the Eagles as they're selected to finish 3rd in the MEAC this season. Passes on the 3, instead she drives.
Trying to make some noise in the MEAC. Obviously, you've had Norfolk State
unable to convert.
at the top of the league
Another opportunity
for the last few years.
It's in the hands of Angel Jones.
Everybody's trying to beat Norfolk State right now, and so I think that Coach Woods has done a good job of equipping a roster to be able to compete for that championship at the beginning of March.
And I asked Coach Woods about being picked third. He said, I thought it was fair. He said, I think we have a chance to effort. They don't try to compete for my attention. About this team, John, as a head coach, I'm in a great place this season. They get the best place I've been in.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome, especially when you can.
This is the first year where I don't have to coach attitude. They don't have to coach egos or effort. They don't try to compete for my attention
all the time when it comes to
as a head coach, I'm in a great place this season. The best place I've been in.
On the court, I mean, that's awesome, especially when you can.
It's the second straight season they're playing the defending national champion, because last season they hosted LSU in the non-conference finale in front of a sold-out crowd. Dropped that matchup against the Tigers 80-48.
You want it to be competitive.
It's the second straight season they're playing the defending national champion. Last season they hosted LSU in their non-conference finale in front of a sold-out crowd. Dropped that matchup against the Tigers 80-48.
Ton of attention to
Coppin State. A power conference team. Arizona State's going to head to Baltimore on December 5th to play Coppin State. Tracks down the rebound. Next year they're going to host the Gamecocks. Instead, it's for Wiley.
Ton of attention to Coppin State. MEAC conference in her bag.
It's tracks down the rebound. If Daniel thought about it.
Just having a good time out there.
Why not? Third made three. She's got 20 points.
Yeah, now she's in her bag. Just having a good time out there, Dave.
Why not? Third made three. She's got 20 points. Gray pulls up and hits. Points now for Gray. Kicks an open three. Kicks it out. That's good. Gray pulls up and hits.
Talk about Chloe Kitts. She's going to have to be
Gray. Kicks an open three. That's good.
Playing against teams in the SEC where they'll try to pack it in and protect the paint. She could be one of those post players. She's going to have to be that relief valve from time to time when playing against
9 for 19 for behind the
teams in the SEC where they'll try to pack it in and protect the paint. She could be one of those post players that could make the defense play you on. We've seen her have some daylight out there.
Gamecocks are 9 for 19 for behind the arc. For Wiley, takes it back out. Wow. Great shot from Hammond. McDaniel on the drive.
Yeah, that's one of the few times we've seen her have some daylight out there.
Off the glass and in. For Wiley, takes it back out.
Like she's extremely strong. She's powerful
on the drive.
Her ability to get the ball up, hand slapping down, sometimes people grabbing her. She still finds a way to get the ball to the basket and give it a chance.
She's extremely strong. 19 and 9.
She's powerful down there. Her ability to get the ball up, hand slapping down, sometimes people grabbing her. She still finds a way to get the ball to the basket and give it a chance.
She's got 19 and 9. Belinda was
step back, get my space, make them pay. And you see Chloe Kitts, I mean, just getting a feet set. Stepping right into it.
Was for Wiley's.
Yeah, that was for Wiley in her bag right there. Just a little pump fake, step back, get my space.
The first, the foul
make
was
them
on
pay.
for Wiley. Her
You
third.
see Chloe Kitts, I mean, just getting her feet set, stepping right into it.
3 seasons at Coastal for Belinda. 78 hits the first, but the foul was on for Wiley. 5.6 minutes per game in her Coastal career. She's going to see a lot of minutes this season for Coppin State. 3 seasons at Coastal for Belinda. 78 games, but limited minutes. Just 5.6 minutes per game in her Coastal career.
Ability to compete.
She's going to see a lot of minutes this season for Coppin State. And talks about the poor. They said you have to keep up. You can't just bring in all freshmen and think you're going to compete.
From her thus far.
He doesn't want to bring in only transfers. He wants to bring in at least 2 freshmen a year.
Showing
freshmen are playing significant minutes. And talks about the poor. They said you have to keep up. You can't just bring in all freshmen and think you're going to compete.
Yeah, obviously you want somebody that
doesn't want to bring in only transfers. So he wants to bring in at least 2 freshmen a year.
What you expect.
And freshmen are playing significant minutes.
With that long-term
created,
so obviously got to have freshmen that play, freshmen that are happy with the experience to be able to carry and continue to set the tone for the rest of the team. And the culture.
This is Bree Hall
with that long-term play. So obviously got to have freshmen that play, freshmen that are happy, so they stay around and continue to set the tone for the rest of the team.
Rebound for Dowdle. Up ahead. This is Bree Hall to full Wiley. Nothing doing. And the Eagles look to push. Hammond pulls up for three. Too strong. Wiley. Rebound for Dowd. Oh, she drills it.
She went under that screen. And when Full Wiley's feeling it like she's feeling it, you cannot go under that screen.
For Wiley. Oh, she drills for 6 from behind the arc. She's got 23.
She went under that screen. And when Full Wiley's feeling it like she's feeling it, you cannot go under that screen.
4 for 6 from behind the arc. She's got 23. Poked away by Watkins. Ashton Watkins so good defensively. She was second in the SEC in blocks per game last season behind her teammate Camila Cardoso. Poked away by Watkins.
Yeah, her range, her
Ashton
long
Watkins so
arms,
good defensively.
Her
She was
athletic
second
ability,
in the SEC in
make
blocks
it
per game
extremely
last
difficult
season
to take
behind
and
her
make
teammate
shots
Camila
over her.
Cardoso.
Yeah, her range, her long
Lawrence
arms,
deep three.
and obviously her athletic ability.
Impressive.
Make it extremely difficult to take and make shots over her. Just giving herself enough daylight to get the shot off.
She's got 15 for Wiley.
Lawrence
Thought about it. Three. Now steps back, takes it from the corner. It's short. Layla Lawrence.
Layla Lawrence popping off of that screen, just giving herself enough daylight to get the shot off.
She's got 15 for Wiley. Thought about it. Now steps back, takes it from the corner. It's short.
He check.
For Wiley, just 1 point off her career high currently. Lawrence on the drive. Bree Hall with the rebound for South Carolina. Wiley just 1 point off her career high currently. Hall. Lawrence on the drive. She'll head to the line. Bree Hall with the rebound for South Carolina.
That's way too much daylight for Bree Hall. Being able to get a full head of steam in the lane.
She'll head to the line.
9 times out of 10, that's going to be a foul. For Coppin State, you have to stop her early before she even gets her trick started. Too much daylight for Bree Hall.
Wiley will get a rest.
Hall to the full head of steam in the lane. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a foul.
Bree Hall 7 points against Michigan, 4 against
before
NC
she even
State.
gets her trick started.
Averaged a career high 9.2 per game last season. Shot it well to the line. Started every game after 71 games off the bench in her first 2 years. Averaged a career high 9.2 per game last season. Shot it unsung hero, John, for South Carolina. Does a little bit of everything. She can shoot. Started every game after 71 games off the bench in her first 2 years.
She's a Swiss Army knife. She kind of can play multiple positions, guard multiple positions.
Kind of an unsung hero, John, from South Carolina. Does a little bit of everything.
Tenacity.
She can shoot. She's terrific defensively.
Big for absolutely.
She's a Swiss Army knife.
She kind of can winning some key multiple positions, guard multiple positions, and not just guard. I mean, she guards with tenacity. And honestly, that was big for South Carolina as far as winning some key games last year. This is how I really shoot.
First 3 of the season. I mentioned she made 32% of them last year. Ten seconds for Gray. She's checked by Hall. Hands off to Lawrence. Oh, another one for Layla Lawrence.
Yeah, that's one thing about Layla Lawrence. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard says. She's going to keep competing, keep playing, keep hunting.
Dowda, this one's off the mark. Approaching 4 minutes to go. South Carolina leads 84-53. Under 10 for Gray. Lawrence turns around on Watkins. Layla Lawrence is delivering for Coppin State.
I was waiting for that Dirk turnaround. I've seen her do it in every game where she even practices that in warm-ups where she's just working on that off-foot pull-up jump shot.
And Edwards responds on the other end.
And this is why the Gamecock staff are so high on her. Her versatility as she continues to develop, show her ability to knock down that mid-range. She's going to be a problem.
We've come to a timeout with 3:15 left. How about 6'4" with range, Sean?
Beautiful, beautiful. Gamecock basketball all day, baby.
Remaining, South Carolina came into tonight shooting just 23% from 3 on the season. But John, tonight they're 11 of 23. That's almost 48%.
Well, all that happened because of the little things they did, especially starting the game, the habits that they created with the intentional movement. Are you making cuts? Are you setting good screens? Are you working to get 2 feet in the paint? Are you running your routes efficiently? And because they've been doing that consistently, it has led to a 3-point barrage for South Carolina to get the looks that they want in the flow of the game, in the system of the offense.
Well, Wiley's got 4 of them. Pow has 3 of them. Hall has 2 of them. Dowd and Kitts with 1 apiece. It's been a collective effort from behind the arc.
Absolutely. And we just did like a minute and a half highlight of them just knocking down threes. It's beautiful basketball.
Gamecock lead is 31. Gray. Worley. She connects.
And that was actually a system play run from Coppin State where they were able to get themselves a good look.
Edwards off the mark. Put back no good from Walker. But Dowda is able to deliver. Nine points for Miriam Dowda. Under 10 for Hammond. She'll fire. It's Gamecocks basketball. Coach Woods continuing to coach his Eagles. And he told us, John, I'm in the huddle. I'm coaching principals not to score. Going to be down some, up some. The game has to be played the right way, whether they're up 30, down 30. Said, I'm going to coach basketball because you can always get better no matter what the score is. You can always do something right. So he still coaches the little things.
Absolutely, and that's what's going to get these players ready for their conference play. Understanding that there are non-negotiables here. The standard is the standard. You know, in order to beat teams like South Carolina, you have to be almost perfect. And for them, they can take the good film that they get from this game, be able to dissect it, figure out what they need to work on to continue to improve and move forward and get themselves ready for the MEAC.
And he was very thankful for this opportunity. Coach Staley gave Coppin State a small school. He says we do it the right way in the women's basketball program. I just want to fly under the radar a little bit. He said in stack days, he said you stack days, you stack wins.
Absolutely, and every day, and we call them daily deposits where I'm from, as far as just giving a little bit, get 1% better, and each day that adds up to reap big rewards.
With players like Angel Jones, brings Coppin State to 60. They're going to be dangerous in the MEAC this season.
I believe so, especially with their individual talent.
McDaniel, the circus shot, and it goes.
Yeah, McDaniels is so low to the ground and so shifty. She knows how to get to those spots that look impossible to most.
Under a minute remaining. First career bucket for Maddie McDaniel. Not a bad way to get it, John.
Absolutely.
In and out for Jones. Edwards leads the rush. Joyce Edwards takes it herself and draws the foul. Another look at the bucket from Maddie McDaniel.
First bucket, and what an impressive one at that. She got shifty, got to the spin move, kept her balance barely, and put it into the basket.
Fourth foul called on. We'll send Joyce Edwards to the line. Edwards hits the first. Number 2 recruit in the class of 2024, McDonald's All-American. She played for the USA Women's Basketball Under-18 national team. And a whistle. Clock issue here, John?
I really don't know.
And it was a shot clock reset. Edwards pulls up. Off the mark. Angel Jones. Check by Hall. Jones on the drive. Won't go. A rebound for Dowda. And McDaniel will dribble it out. An impressive performance for the Gamecocks, who pick up their 41st straight win. Their 14th consecutive home opening win. They defeat Coppin State